Greetings, my friends. I want to start out this month with a big thank you. Every month, more and more people are reaching out to me and telling me how much they enjoy my monthly video blog. Sometimes I actually get caught off guard because people who I didn't even think were ever paying attention to anything I had to say will tell me how profoundly my words landed with them. Who knew? Please continue to keep the feedback coming in, both the stuff you love and any constructive feedback that you think might help me get even better at sharing my messages. One of the things that I learned from my many years at Toastmasters was that the most important part of growing as a speaker and messenger of any sort was to connect with your audience and listen to what they are asking you for. As an inspirational speaker, I continue to be inspired by all of your stories, and I often find myself humbled by the number of kind words I hear. I have to say it's an honor to know that my monthly deep and not so deep thoughts video blogs are encouraging people to actively think about how to live their best lives, and even more importantly, how they can help others live their best lives too. Just last month, I was talking about how my single greatest calling in this lifetime is to help others. That is absolutely true. And even though I conscientiously try to pour gobs of my life force into doing just that, I have to admit that I'm not always at my best. And sometimes things happen that trigger me into saying or doing things that I would never want people to do to me. Case in point. At the end of January, I was returning home from a trip to Florida to spend time with my mom. I love spending time with my mom, and I love how our relationship continues to grow even after all these years. That being said, it's hard at times for me to be away from my home space. As someone who lives with MS, my routines and rituals are a critical part of being able to thrive instead of just trying to survive. Being able to get consistent sleep, being able to give my meds in the same place every day, being in control of what I put into my body and when I put it into my body, being consistent with my training routines. These are all ingredients in the recipe of my life which keep me in the state of balance and equilibrium. When you are traveling, it's almost impossible to keep that same state of balance. Now, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't trade my time in Florida with my mom for anything in the world. I just have to have realistic expectations about when I return from these trips. I'm going to need a little bit more time, more rest than normal, and I'm going to need to ease back into my everyday life. I didn't do a very good job at this the last time, though. When I came home, I had to deal with getting adjusted to my new glasses, which are that progressive lens thing that people in my age range sometimes have to adjust to. I just couldn't seem to get the glasses to sit right on my face, and I was getting really frustrated that I paid so much money for these new glasses and they are just being a pain in my, side. Even more frustrating than that, I had to deal with some yucky insurance and prescription stuff that was enough to make me want to pull my hair out. I'm sure that every single one of you out there has had to deal with the challenges of navigating our healthcare systems, our insurance systems, and the medical world in general. So you probably know what I'm talking about. I was having trouble replenishing my supply of my primary MS medication, and I was getting down to the last few days of my dose. In the process, I was trying to get approval to get a new shipment, and the person who was trying to help me get that shipment didn't seem to be listening to the fact that I only had a few days supply left because they kept suggesting a later delivery date than I needed. Eventually, I must have started to get a little testy because that woman on the phone with me told me that she did not prefer the fact that I was raising my voice with her. Inside my own head, I didn't really think that I was raising my voice. But in truth, I have to say that I've been told this before. When I get frustrated, it's a challenge for me to communicate what I'm feeling because my emotions get out in front of my words. This has affected me for my entire life because of the cognitive disabilities I deal with, and as a result, my behavior and my energy can at times seem aggressive to other people. I can promise you that it is never my intention to be aggressive with anybody else. In fact, I have a very low level of tolerance for aggressive people because there have been many times in my life where I have been the object of that aggression, both in relationships and in casual encounters. One of the things that frustrates me the most is when people get aggravated with me or think that I'm stupid because I don't understand them at first. I realized that in raising my voice to the woman on the phone who was trying to help me get my prescription, that I was doing the exact same thing to her that I get upset with when people do to me. They say that we teach best what we most need to learn ourselves. Here is a perfect example of how I need to try to do a better job of listening to my own teachings by trying to treat everyone with compassion and kindness, even when I'm feeling like I'm at the end of my own personal rope. It wasn't the woman on the other end of the phone that was the obstacle of me getting my prescription refilled. It was the system that she has to work in. If I remind myself of that, I actually have great compassion for her. So now, where in your life can you offer more compassion to others? In the world where we are often so quick to acknowledge our differences and draw lines in the sand, imagine the change we could create if we all just took a step back, shifted our energy, lowered our voices when necessary, and listened a bit more to the needs of others. Well, that's it for this month. Wishing you the best for a Valentine's Day full of love. And I'm looking forward to March when we can all spring ahead and do something new. Ciao, ciao for now.